What is up, guys? It's Adam, aka Marf, and today we have a special show for you. We are going to be talking about all of the crazy news, talk about the United States and the world's future in technology and everything else. And then after that, we're going to be talking about COVID. A whole lot of COVID. So, stick around. This is going to be unlike any other show. Now remember, nothing in the show should be considered legal, medical, or financial advice. The views of the callers can differ considerably and do not necessarily reflect the opinions of myself, Dex, or anyone else on the show. You should always do your own research and consult with professionals. The internet is full of fake news, so please take everything with a grain of salt. Where are my Marfoogles at? Let's go. So, if you've never been here before, my name is Adam, aka Marf, and this is Marfoogle News. We are going to be talking about all of the craziest news that is out right now, and we are going to be talking about what our groups are saying. Now, of course, we do not just have mainstream articles backed up on our website. Everything we say is actually backed up there by something that actually shows what we're talking about. We don't just say something, but we also have 12,000 plus in our Discord, actually coming up on 13,000, and then about 400 plus active and retired military folks. So the active and retired folks are all letting us know what is going on militarily, and then of course we have all of our people that are basically scouring, digging, doing all sorts of stuff to try to figure out what is actually going on. Now, we are going to go over mainstream and then ask questions, and then we're going to give you a chance to call in. The number is actually scrolling down below. It will hit in just a second. That is 224400 Marf, and it's actually right here. And of course, you want to make sure to call in relatively early. We have 6 lines. Once they are taken up, you most likely will not be able to get in. So make sure to get in early on that. And then, of course, press option 4 when you get to our phone tree. If you want to get a hold of us, you can do Adam or Dex at marfooglenews.com. And again, if you want to check out any of the articles that we show here today, all of them are backed up on our website. In fact, it is done by this thumbnail. If you go to the main site, you'll see a bunch of thumbnails. This one, of course, once you click on it, you will find our websites. You will find Holy Locusts, or the name may change, especially since this version is going to be on YouTube. Again, after this, we are actually going to do a few minute intermission, and then we're going to do a raw and uncut COVID coverage today. So this is going to be a very, very long day for a lot of us. So we appreciate all of your guys' support. Of course, when we do the COVID stuff, it basically does not go onto the tube. So we appreciate anything that you guys do, especially sharing and liking our video over there. Again, if you have never seen us, we actually have a channel with 151,000 subscribers. It's about 2 years old. And then we have a channel at 106,000 subscribers, Marfoogle TV. That is about a year and a half old. So we've built both of those up from scratch, and we hope that you join us over there as well, over on YouTube. Now, this is being recorded live on DLive, and if I'm over on YouTube in the chat, that it is a premiere of a live show. So, again, all of the articles that we're going to show you here, the show topics are there. We're going to go over some of the official stuff. We're going to do a disclaimer that all of the COVID stuff that is on this show is absolutely 100% no, basically no theories on anything. We're going to give you the straight up numbers. So if you just like to know what they are saying it is, boom, that's all that's on this. On the next show, not only are we going to go over the theories that people have, but we're going to go over the Twitter videos. Oh my gosh, there is a ton. And then again, the unfiltered COVID coverage will be coming after this. So if you're watching a replay of this, you will probably be able to find it if it is after 2/18/2020. And again, this is about 4:44 p.m. Pacific. So again, you can read with a second device. You can actually read along with us on any of these articles. You can go to our website and then click along. And if we only cover, say, a portion of it, if we only cover a paragraph, then you at home can actually go and read the rest of it and make sure that you get all of the information that you need. The Marfoogle family is all about community. We are all about inclusivity, but I do want to make sure that everybody knows this when we are taping live and when we're premiering. If you're in a live chat, be respectful of others. If you know what I'm all about, it's all about positivity and pushing each other up. We don't talk about other channels here. We don't talk about other people in here, especially the callers. If the callers are calling, please be respectful. Some you may not know. They might have speech impediments or things like this that you have no idea. I've seen things like that, and that is one of my pet peeves, and I will ban based on that if somebody makes fun of callers. Or saying, next, this guy's boring, that kind of stuff. It's just disrespectful. If you were calling in, I would just expect you to treat people like you would want to be treated if you called in. It's a 5-minute limits on the calls. Again, that's at 224-400-MARF. And then on top of this, thank you guys for all coming over. Wherever I go, you guys have followed. Every single platform I've gone to, you've jumped over to. So thank you so much for jumping when we needed to. We have a month and a half left of that strike. I hope to stay on here past that. Again, we have a open door of what we can do over on other places, but both of them are loved for sure. Okay, Dex, let's do a small sound check here. Dex is actually going to be screening calls. He has the ability to actually put all of the callers' information. If they have pictures they want to show people, he can put that on my left screen while I have all of their info on the right. So, Dex, are you there, and can we do a quick sound check?
Hello, Adam. I am here, and hello, Foogle fam.
All right, and then we've got some improved sound on your end now because we're not going through a crappy connection anymore. So that's awesome. All right, let's see here, Dex. As far as the coverage that's coming next, wouldn't you say that we have some of the craziest stuff ever on there? I mean, like, this is exactly what we said it was going to be.
Yeah, you could almost think that this was coming from, the end of times. There's some on both sides of the equation. What we're covering here on this episode that's going on YouTube, it's pretty amazing, some of the things we're going to be talking about. And then even later, what we're going to cover on the second episode, exclusively on the live. Yeah, man, it's crazy. It is really crazy right now.
Which, by the way, we're going to be talking about a lot of the craziest things that are going on right now. We are in the future. We are officially in the future. I've been covering this for the last year. Facial recognition in stores, men flying around with rocket packs, taking off and landing. This is nuts. Manned drones doing flips at 87 miles per hour. We have locusts traveling from one continent to another. We have 10 plagues happening at the same time, or at least the definition of 10 plagues. So a lot of people are actually thinking, there's a lot of stuff going on. So without further ado, let's get into it. And I will be hitting the chats on both channels. If you're watching this on YouTube, I will most likely be right next to you in the chat. And that really is me because it is a premiere. They allow live chat. Of course, if you don't know the story behind why that happened, just ask somebody next to you. Okay. Fancy a cuppa. Berserker Vikings used hallucinogenic tea during battles. Now, this is kind of interesting. Do you want to explain this, Dex? I would love for your view on this since you are so...
Absolutely. So, this is really interesting. Historians have debated this for quite a long time. Like the very ferocious and fearless acts that were taken by the Scandinavians back then. It was sort of unheard of. Like, how did they do this? And now they're actually going back. Their research is showing that they were actually using hallucinogenic tea to enrage themselves, or to fuel themselves, if you want to call it that. And it does explain quite a bit. So it's kind of interesting read. It's, if you're into what happened back in the days of the Vikings and how they across the world. Now it also makes you think a little bit about what do we do today and what we're doing with bio engineering, specifically around our soldiers, and are we making either robots or enhancing what we're doing with humans so that they can have superpowers or stronger powers, or be able to be trained in a way in which they can fulfill a duty for a specific cause or a specific action on a battlefield.
What's crazy is speaking of Vikings, my whole family loves Vikings because half of us are Norwegians, so we are directly descended from Leif Erikson, which was a Norse explorer from Iceland. He was before Christopher Columbus. There's some controversy there that some say that he did all sorts of stuff, but yeah, that guy is. The Vikings were savages, to say the least. But they were also respected by a lot of the other countries that they ever dealt with, because these guys were nuts. So it kind of does explain that these guys were basically high as a kite when invading and doing all this stuff. They were probably, taking down monsters in their minds. It says, Berserker Vikings, famed for their frenzy and reckless behavior during battles, fueled themselves with a potent hallucinogen which made them unable to feel pain. Now, here's the crazy part where I connect this. Some of the research that they have said that they were going to do last year, some things came out on the dark web connecting DARPA. Now, in fact, so DARPA has experimented, and other companies more focused on the less tech and more of the biological side of something to make a super soldier. It's been in movies all over the place, usually starring, Van Damme, but it is a real thing that we have done. They've done experiments on humans, in fact, to make a super soldier. So somebody who, and we actually do know Germany did this in WW2, which is also spawned into a bunch of exaggerated movies. My favorite, in fact, was probably Overlord, about the military that goes over during what was that invasion? They basically try to take a tower down in Germany, and they basically have to knock out this thing, and the Germans, they find, are doing all sorts of crazy experiments and making people into zombies. Anyways, but there's been a lot about that, and there is some truth to the fact that humans have been basically experimented on, and it's kind of crazy that it's like full circle. Here's where the locusts come in. Now, we've talked about this, and people said, in fact, last time we covered it, somebody says, well, this is last week's news. That's because it continues to go on. In fact, there's a new story about this for the last 3 weeks, because this locust plague is so large, as we said last night or the night before, it was 40 miles wide. And how many miles an hour? What were they going? They were covering a certain amount of miles. It was like 100.
Yeah, it was a lot. And they would devour a field within minutes.
So within 30 seconds, they can literally land on a field and devour 40 miles wide. I mean, think about that. Think about 40 miles wide. That's a city wide. I mean, that is actually bigger than, I think that's like West Seattle to like North Seattle. That's all of downtown, everything. Or if you're in New York, I think that's bigger than New York is long, right? I don't know how long New York is, but it's definitely not 40 miles wide. Again, and then those are taking out everything in their path. And now it says that they have traveled. It says the Locust Plague fears, Book of Revelation apocalypse seal broken after swarm reaches China. Isn't that nuts? Now, I'm sure I'm going to get people asking, is this going to affect COVID? Can these actually, transfer them? That thing I don't know yet. So we're actually in the process of asking experts. If these did end up hitting farms and things where, COVID was, would there be any effect at all? Because it does go on surfaces, and say if these bugs actually landed on the surface. But again, where are they going after China? I think they don't have... where would they go physically from there? It says, in the final book of the New Testament, 7 trumpets are sounded, one at a time, to cue apocalyptic events by John Patmos in his vision. According to Revelation 8:1-2, the angels sound these trumpets after breaking the 7th seal, which secured the scroll of the apocalypse, marking the second coming of Christ. The 5th of these 7 trumpets is said to see a swarm of locusts sent to torment anyone who does not have the approval of God. Now, of course, this went across Africa, and it says, now horrifying video footage shows the moment a large swarm of locusts filled the skies in Xinjiang, China, part of the plague that has already ravaged millions of acres across crops in Kenya, Somalia, and Ethiopia. It says paranormal investigator Kieran Ugly questioned in his YouTube's channel, is this biblical end of times? During a press conference in Nairobi, attendees had to reassure the public that this was not the case. But what are the signs we are seeing? 7 angels will sound the trumpets of God, which heralds the coming of Christ or the end of days. Now, what do you guys think? I know that the locust, just the word itself, most people go biblical with that word. But as far as this is not like every year. We see this kind of thing every single year. A locust, or at least the last 5 years, we've seen it a lot. This is unlike any locust swarm ever on record, I believe, right? Didn't this beat the previous record, and then now this is kind of in its own category?
Yeah, the last time was 70 years ago, and this is bigger than that.
So, I mean, in modern history, modern as in the last century, we've never seen something like this. And I don't know if there's something before this century, possibly. I mean, once you get in that territory, you're getting into kind of rumor. And, back then they didn't have the same kind of records. I mean, they had written records and, passed down by word. But so, again, this is something that we actually have track of. They can actually... essentially, this is the first time that we've seen this ever. It says, on the sounding of the first trumpet, hail and fire mingled with blood is thrown to the earth, burning up 1/3 of all trees. Which, there's a lot of stuff that is going into this. It says, number 2, the second trumpet, a great mountain burning with fire plunges into the sea. A great mountain burning with fire plunges into the sea. So, oh man, what if that's, I heard somebody say Hawaii with Kilauea, but that wasn't really a great mountain. But there are a couple that they say could do that. It says, fire mingled with blood is thrown to the earth. I wonder if that's burning up 1/3 of the trees. That could be some sort of asteroid. And then it says the third trumpet, the great star called Wormwood falls to earth. Okay, that would be it. Poisoning 1/3 of the planet's fresh water. Huh. I wonder, what if that was... taken, poisoning 1/3 of the planet's freshwater. I would think of the nuclear plant poisoning everything. The fourth trumpet sees 1/3 of the light from the sun, moon, and stars become dark. Huh. The fifth trumpet prompts a personified star to fall from heaven, giving a key to the bottomless pit. And then the smoke will rise and block the sun, unleashing a swarm of locusts. What is really crazy is there's a few videos out there of the people that were caught in the middle of this, and it literally makes it nighttime with them above them. That is pretty nuts. It says number 6, 200 million mounted troops whose horses exude plagues of fire, smoke, and brimstone, killing 1/3 of mankind. So that would be the kind of, conflict of all conflicts. And then he continued, the final trumpet sees loud voices from heaven will say, the kingdom of our Lord will reign forever. Now, some say that all of those have actually already happened, especially the hum that we hear in the skies, which is unexplainable. Nobody can explain it. They've come up with many theories, but there's no absolute proof. As far as the hum, that is not something that's just an internet story. That has been actually proven. I mean, hundreds of thousands of people have heard it. They don't have an explanation. Some have said that it's plates grinding and at that frequency hits. Some say it's from solar stuff coming through and hitting our atmosphere and making weird, frequency noises. Some say that it is underwater volcanoes and underwater earthquakes that are actually sending this weird vibration up and out the water, and then it bounces out as this hum. But some of the places that have had it, especially the last one, was in Libya, of all places. The Libyan coast had that, and it was not anywhere near water, or some of the places that they heard it. So it's very, very... very interesting. What do you guys think? I would love for any of you guys to call in on this. 224400 Marv. It says the Locust could represent the fifth trumpet. The seventh and final trumpet will begin the rapture, and those deemed worthy will be allowed into the kingdom, and those deemed unworthy will be sent to hell. We all know January was a hellish start. WW3 fears and the fires in Australia. It says the recent coronavirus is now the Locust. Could this be a warning from the heavens? According to the publication's End Time Ministries, for the first four trumpets have been metaphorically sounded in history. The first two are supposed to have been WW1, WW2, when large amounts of artillery shells and chemical agents were released on troops for the first time in history through modern warfare, killing over 8 million people. It says during WW2, approximately one-third of the ships that participated in the conflict were sunk. In turn, the atomic bomb deployed at Hiroshima resembled something like a great mountain burning with fire, a sight that was new on the world stage. Third trumpet would have been sounded during the nuclear disaster at Chernobyl, according to Russian writer Irvin Baxter. And then in a dictionary, he showed that the Ukrainian word for wormwood, a bitter wild herb used as a tonic in rural Russia, is Chernobyl. Isn't that weird? The Ukrainian word for wormwood used as a tonic in rural Russia is Chernobyl. According to the report, the fall of the Berlin Wall in 1989 prompted the start of the NWO, marking the sounding of the fourth trumpet. More worryingly still, the second to last trumpet is said to sound before a great war is started near the Euphrates River. So, and you might think this is dumb, but there's a lot of very serious, actually, like Harvard folks that are looking into the kind of the things that are in there. You don't have to believe in the Bible to understand that a lot of things are kind of matching up from the Bible. This, I don't know if that's necessarily all of them. In fact, I've seen people better match things up than that. Things that are like really weird that were predicted. What do you guys think? I would love for you to call. I want you guys to make your own decisions on these things. 224400 Marv. It says 10 plagues that are hitting our planet simultaneously. All of a sudden, really crazy things are starting to happen all over the world. Giant swarms of locusts are absolutely devastating entire regions. Extremely unusual storms are confounding meteorologists. Earthquakes and volcanic activity are both on the rise. Like we said about a year and a half ago, that one of our sources said that they would triple in the next 5 years. The 5 very dangerous diseases are sweeping across the globe. So far in 2020, it has been one thing after another, and many are speculating about what it could be ahead if events continue to escalate. The other day, it says, my wife mentioned that one of her friends suggested that I put together a list of all the weird stuff that has been taking place. And so that is what I have decided to do. The following is a list of 10 plagues that are hitting our planet. Now remember, plague doesn't have to be, there's many definitions. Dex, do you have the definitions pulled up? There's actually, because one is an actual disease or something like that, but then it's something that causes constant. Constant.
So there's a contagious disease, an unusually large number of insects or animals infesting a place. There's things causing trouble or irritation, or used as a curse to plague on all of their houses is a term. And then as a verb, the word plague means, can cause continual trouble. So yeah.
So to cause continual trouble. It says, 1, army of locusts. As I detailed the other day, swarms of locusts the size of major cities have been devouring entire farms in Africa in as little as 30 seconds. These swarms have also been spreading throughout the Middle East, and now we have learned that they have now reached China. So this is, again, and then 2, extremely bizarre weather patterns. It's almost as if virtually all the old rules have suddenly been thrown out the window. An all-time record 209 mile per hour wind gusts just hit California. Now remember, we saw tornadoes in California, tornadoes in Washington last year, just 30 minutes away from myself. That was weird. Of course, we've seen crazy freezes. Last year, we saw, in fact, Europe had these weird, crazy, sudden freezes. I mean, this stuff is straight up out of the movie The Day After Tomorrow. Some of it is like literally a scene out of it. It says, and absolutely crazy storms are happening all over the planet. For example, just check out what took place in Australia. Now, some don't know, they're not in Australia, so they don't realize how bad it is. But literally, Australia burned from the outside in. It literally left. I mean, I think animals went extinct because of that fire. They said that there was a lot at risk, but now afterwards they're kind of counting these species that may have actually gone extinct. It says, Sydney has been thrown into chaos by a devastating storm that saw 2 months of rainfall in just 2 days, forcing mass evacuations, leaving 150,000 homes without power, and prompted warnings not to drive to work. The storm dumped 400 millimeters of rain on the city over the weekend, causing mayhem for commuters on Monday morning, with roads blocked, ferries canceled, and trains suffering major delays across the network. Speaking of floods, unprecedented flooding is number 3. We are seeing unusual flooding all over the world right now, and the flooding that is devastating the southern U.S. at this moment is being called unprecedented. Again, I mean, we have seen some of the craziest flooding all over the country, and not only that, all over the world. We've actually seen really, really crazy stuff. It says in Jackson, Mississippi, hundreds of residents either watched their homes flood over the weekend or worried that their residents would soon be drenched as the Pearl River crested Monday at 36.8 feet, its third largest, highest level ever recorded behind 1979 and 83. Calling the Jackson floods historic and unprecedented, Mississippi Governor Tate Reeves said in a Sunday conference that, quote, "We do not anticipate this situation to end anytime soon. It will be days before we are out of the woods." 4 major earthquakes. Really big earthquakes are happening with such frequency now that it is difficult for me to write about them all. For example, a magnitude 7.7 recently struck off the coast of Jamaica. Of course, we had California. We had all of these other ones that have gone on. Magnitude, we've covered a ton of those. Now, that one I would say is up to debate. But, you know, when we look at it throughout the whole year, I would love to have somebody like Dutch Sense on to comment on that one. Unusual volcanic eruptions. Seismic activity has been rising all over the globe, and over the past couple of months, we have seen volcanoes all over the world pop off like firecrackers. One of the most notable eruptions that we have seen in recent days, with the most powerful eruption of Mount Merapi in 90 years. One of Indonesia's most active volcanoes, Mount Merapi, just experienced its most powerful explosion since 1930. And then, of course, 6 is the coronavirus. Needless to say, the CV outbreak in China has been getting more headlines than anything else on this list, which, by the way, was not the case in the beginning. It says the World Health Organization has held talks with tech giants to stop the spread of coronavirus. And that's why we lost 3 weeks of work, despite the fact that some things once labeled misinfo have now started to be turned out to be true. Isn't that funny? That the stuff that we said 3 weeks ago is now being, it's being told to the world. So who called it? I mean, if anybody that watches our show knows that we called it, and we didn't say it was this and that, and we actually called the WD CDC thing. I mean, and there's a few others that did too. So it's pretty nuts that is the case. The meeting was organized by the WHO, but hosted by Facebook. and it's Menlo Park campus in California. So I told you guys, and I was able to give warning to some of my friends before, because the thing is they're going to let algorithms sort it out for them. So you could have got knocked off the platform if you had certain information, and that certain information was contained in a lot of my friends' stuff, and it was just questions. We're just asking questions. We're not saying anything that's not true. And now, especially if you look back at what we did put out, now it's all official. And then 7 is the African swine fever, pig Ebola, has already wiped out millions upon millions of pigs in China, is now spread to 40 other countries. The price of pork is absolutely skyrocketing in China right now to help fill the demand. The Chinese increasingly importing pork from U.S. sources. 8 is the H1N1. 9 is the H5N1 bird flu. And then the H5N8 bird flu. So all those ones you talked about before, they're still around. And some of them are actually getting worse and popping up around the globe. So what do you guys think? I would love for you guys to let me know what you guys think about all of these different things happening, and happening worse and worse every year. As far as the people that cover them, even us, we're like, wow, this is a lot. Love your opinion. Now, if you guys would like to help support us, you can always go and end up getting NordVPN. It's a virtual private network. If you are online, period, you should have a VPN. Some folks, like Megan's blog here on this platform, they use it as a vital thing because she's in China in the lockdown right now, and she's actually able to get out of that by using something like NordVPN. You can actually get up to 80% off with our code. It's no extra cost to you. In fact, it's actually cheaper, and it helps support the channel. What it does is it actually hides your IP from the bad guys. It doesn't data log. It doesn't do a whole lot of things. And then you can use this onto 6 devices. All you have to do is download it and press on. I mean, it's super, super easy. Again, that's up to 6 simultaneous connections. So your phone, your tablet, your kid's phone, your kid's tablet, your computer, your laptop. Okay, and then again, that's at marfooglenews.com/VPN. All right, and then let's see here. DARPA wants millions to design an unmanned flying gun under its new gunslinger program. Dex, can you explain this one real quick?
Well, yeah, there's obviously budget documents have come out, and they're describing a gun armed missile, I guess, that would be able to engage multiple targets either on the ground and in the air. And this is not uncommon. I mean, we have things, whether it's the Warthog or even the C-1, one of the C-planes, the C-130, it gets converted and has a gunship on it, where, we are able to fire large calibers from pretty high up in the sky. So it sounds like just the building of something like that, but in a, autonomous unmanned vehicle, right? A UAV. So, and the question really comes down is how big is it? What's it going to look like? And is this thing flying through our neighborhoods, or is it, flying high in the sky out of sight?
Do you remember the video by High Impact Flicks about Las Vegas that he did?
Yes, I do.
About how
I remember that.
There was no technical planes that were shown during that event, and that yet it was like all these different cell phone videos matched up, and there was like, it was really weird. I'm just saying.
Yeah, there was plenty of speculation, but plenty of also evidence that could be used to show that the sounds and even the lights were coming from the sky, and they were coming from places where there was no air traffic at the time.
Now, if you don't know what he's talking about, and then Dex, even before me, he sort of was involved in helping sound stuff with figuring out. We kind of knew back then that something was up. So that is something that we did
tons of audio analysis of the bullet sounds throughout all the different recordings.
So that's another show. We should do a whole show over on the other platform. I think that would be extremely interesting, since it would, most likely be just questions, right? Okay, and then again, can we link that video by High Impact Flicks so people know exactly what I'm talking about? If you can find it.
I'll find it and I'll add it to the show page on our website, marfooglenews.com.
Okay, all right, perfect. And then let's see here. So I mean, literally, like that's like a cartoon where you pull the trigger and it's another gun that pulls the trigger and then it's another gun and then it goes bang. I mean, like seriously, a gun-armed missile. Yeah, that's what they're making. They're like, they had like a meeting and they were straight up like, what would be the most badass thing ever? We could put a gun on a missile. Straight up, that's what they just did. And then we have check out all the air power on Guam for Exercise Cope North in this exclusive satellite image. So Cope North is a huge multinational air warfare exercise that calls Andersen Air Force Base on the island of Guam home, and it is officially underway. The drill includes the Japan Air Self-Defense Force, or JASTF, and the Royal Australian Air Force, RAF, as well as the Pentagon's own substantial air power already deployed to the island outpost, and other units sent there just for the exercise. In total, some 100 aircraft and 2,000 personnel are taking part in this iteration of the operation, which includes everything from coalition counter-air to deep strike mission training to disaster relief. Did you notice how they threw disaster relief in there? Huh. That's kind of funny. So it's, for conflict and then disaster relief. And then pretty much everything in between. It's all about getting diverse international players to learn how to work seamlessly together during a crisis. Overall, Cope North is one of the region's most impressive displays of air combat capabilities, and the extent of its size translates well from the point of the view of low Earth orbit. So this is yet another weirdly placed drill. As far as they do drills all the time, but as far as the stuff that is in here, we are actually going to ask our military group about this and see if they know anything. Last time we asked about the whole nighttime thing when they were ordering all of the nighttime goggles. We actually got calls from folks that were active and that ended up, barely missing or got into the nighttime training program. They're training all over the country for a lights out scenario. Just saying. In fact, we have proved that, and even wartime magazines have actually basically said that they don't know why there are so many nighttime exercises, and we showed you the physical orders for all of the new technology night vision goggles, which was kind of out of place. Okay, and then if you guys have not joined our Discord, it is extremely important that you get in there because we have the Creators Corner, the exclusive military channel, and we have 50 state groups. Now, somebody said, oh, the Discord is this and this and that. By the way, our Discord has, what is it called? It's called two-step verification. That's not us doing it. It's Discord. So people think that we are getting your phone number and email. We're not. That's Discord. Discord is an app just like all these other apps. We did that because we had so many trolls that we had to basically lock it down. What they do is they actually verify it so that basically it can be a safe place. All of the information stays with Discord. So again, you can read their stuff, but again, that's not us. We don't get your stuff. And then find your local state group. This is extremely important. This is a great place to get together with your state group and actually meet. We have meetings going on all over the country. And then most Sundays and Mondays, if you want to organize a group in your city, I will show up via Skype to any of them. Just please let us know at least 48 hours in advance so I can make it. Again, that's where I spend my days off. That's how I met people like April Osborne. It's how I met Big Mom. It's how I met John Davis. It's how I met Steve. It's how I actually met Bones person to person. So a lot of you guys need to get in there. It's at marfooglenews.com. You, of course, if you want to talk to me off air and get the real deets, please organize a meeting. And then our exclusive military group, Other Vets Will Vet You. That group is only for military. We don't even go in there unless we're asking a question or if they are asking us one. So, and then Again, China reports 1886 new virus cases, death toll up by 98. Now, I just want to make sure, if you're reviewing this video over on the tube, that this is from the Associated Press. So this is official numbers. Again, our COVID coverage will come afterwards off of this platform. And then it says mainland.
Adam?
Yes, go ahead.
Since the printing of this article that we were covering, mainstream, including CNBC, even Weather Channel, has come out and said that the actual number just released from the China National Health Commission is over 2,000. It's 2,004. So that number is quickly changing.
Now, so I mean, 40 minutes later, it could be different. In an hour, it will be different. So this number is up. It says mainland China reported 1,886 new cases and 98 more deaths for a total of 1,868 in its update Tuesday, following the report that 80% of the cases have been mild. Mild, but yet 760 million plus people are on lockdown. Again, for those that say it's just another flu, what is the angle here? Why would they put 760 million? I would love to actually hear your opinion, because you very well might be right. But why the lockdown? Is it for something else? I would love to know what the other reasons are for locking down 760 million people. Again, New York is 9 million people. That's 76 times, over 76 times, about 80 times the population of New York. 80 New Yorks locked down. Twice the population of the entire United States. And I'm talking about when you drive across the country, every little town and village, every little city, every big city filled with skyscrapers, every skyline across the United States, they have locked it down times 2. Tell me that's another flu. They are using trucks to sanitize. They are even using manned tank drones to sanitize the city. They're using drones to tell people to go inside. And, well, that was before. Now, everybody is inside. Absolutely nuts. Which we're going to show you some videos that are going to... Latest figures come out after health officials in China publish the first details on nearly 45,000 cases of infection with the and originated there, saying that more than 80% have been mild, and the new ones seem to be falling since early this month. Just like they had that video in the beginning saying the guy, the doctor that was infected, talking through the phone. Oh yeah, I see this being this is going to be a very small thing. We should have it handled soon. And then a little advertisement underneath. This channel is completely funded by the Chinese government. Of course it is. So, again, our in-depth coverage comes after this. We're going to take an intermission after this quick show, and then, of course, we'll get into that. And it's going to be absolutely insane. I guarantee that even the severe doubters will be like, what the F? Virus claims life of hospital director in hard-hit Wuhan. Says as a mysterious new virus enveloped central China's Wuhan earlier this year, Liu Ziming mobilized all the resources of his hospitals in the city Wuchang district to deal with the thousands of sick people arriving daily, threatening to overwhelm the local healthcare system. That dedication appears to have cost him his life. So the director is now gone, with Wuhan Health Bureau announcing Tuesday that he became infected and died despite all-out attempts to save him. Yet we didn't hear that he even had it, and then, boom, just gone. Which, there's been stories about him, and I think there was a quote from like 2 days ago. So, why 2 days ago didn't they tell us that he apparently had it? Okay, well, I guess he, yeah. I wonder who the Hillary would be over there. Okay, American cruise passengers quarantined at U.S. military bases. American cruise passengers quarantined at U.S. military bases. Now, Dex, did you see that story? I don't think we have it in here. There was somebody who was actually in quarantine for 14 days, and then they were let out, and they actually tested positive after they were released, and now they're getting put back. Did you see that?
Yeah, and I've heard that too. I mean, the whole notion that this could be beyond 14 days is the big question right now, because there's a lot of people that have only done 14 days, and what happens beyond is what is really concerning.
Because they say from 7 to 24 days. So 24 days is obviously almost an entire month to have this thing. That's like, what is that? That's like almost as bad as mono or something, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah, it is.
So if that's the case, then that's not good. And again, why 14 days? I don't know. It's just, and it's Japan again. This is what's crazy. Japan is the one who originally didn't have a mandatory quarantine, and then they had 4 cases. And then all of a sudden, they were the ones who had this other issue. You know, it's like, Japan, come on. Figure it out. One plane carrying cruise passengers touched down at Travis Air Force Base in Northern California just before midnight Sunday, while another arrived at Lackland Air Force Base in Texas early Monday. The passengers will remain at the base for 2 weeks. Now, I just wonder, what if something could, not this one, just say hypothetically, if something could be designed to actually kick in and out. So you catch it, happens, it could get you then, but what if it could be designed, and I'm pretty sure they have the ability to activate later down the road or slowly grow into something crazier 3 months down the road or something.
I have a story about that, but ask me in the next show. I don't want to get us in trouble here.
Okay,
this
all
is
right.
Pretty crazy when you think about. I mean, on one hand, if you're an American and you're on that ship, like, this is great. Like, I would love for nothing more than if I was quarantined on that ship or I was sick on that ship to be able to come to America and get American care versus whatever care I'm getting on a ship or in a quarantine facility in another location. So, you know, kudos to us. I know a lot of people are thinking, like, don't bring those people into our country, but no, these are our citizens and they deserve the right to, you know, get the best treatment possible. So, you know, if I on one hand, I totally agree and understand, like, let's bring these people in, and that's why we're quarantining people that are U.S. citizens that are coming in, and treating them if they are infected.
But from what I heard is we are getting other folks from other countries and bringing them here. Is that true?
If that is, that's a different issue. And I, you know, again, I personally support taking care of our citizens. If we're taking care of lots of other people from other countries, you know, that the question to me is, how did they get here, or why did they get here, and why weren't they taking care of where they were coming from or in their homeland?
Well, again, what if you were over abroad, and then if you disagree with him, what if you were over abroad and all of a sudden you got stuck with something, or even just had a flu and they didn't test positive for it, but if you had a slight fever or measured above, again, Megan, who we've been talking to for a month now, said that she was 0.3 degrees away. The limit was like 97.5 or something, or no, I'm sorry, 37.5 Celsius, not Fahrenheit. So they measured her at 37.2. So it was 0.3 away from actually getting her taken away in China. So it wasn't originally, now she's in a lockdown, but before they were walking around and they were doing the temperatures, and essentially if she was 0.3 higher, she would have gone into a van straight up and gone to quarantine or lockdown, which that's very scary. And now she is truly locked down, and I guess she gets like some sort of card or something like this to be able to leave, and there's certain periods where she has to use the card to do it. It's kind of like a hall pass, I'm assuming. I don't know. I'm gonna ask her some more stuff here coming up. And then let's see here. Szechuan chicken. Okay. And then we've got scenes from the epicenter. Why is it so foggy there, Dex? Why do you? That's kind of crazy.
I think they've been fogging a lot, but it is foggy, and I think the temperature recently changed there too. So they probably have lots of different weather issues going on. Just a reminder, though, for anybody that's reviewing this is coming from a mainstream source.
Yep, and again, this is straight up. There is no theories here. This is just straight up pictures of the epicenter of this very public thing here. These are the hospitals. Again, no one being shown. This gentleman is alive. They are doing a flash mob? Maybe? No, that's just people with masks. I'm surprised she didn't do a crazy mask for her dog. We've actually shown that yesterday. Oh, wow. Look at this. So this is one of many of the kind of brick walls things, and people have kind of torn it down. Wow. This is by the way, this is kind of what a wet market looks like in some cases, depending on what parts. God, isn't that scary? A mom and a kid checking his temperature. Wow, that's kind of messed up. She's on the electrical bike, and he's trying to pedal to keep up with her. Look at that. I mean, this is out of a movie, you guys. This is straight up out of a movie. I mean, just imagine if this was New York City. I'm surprised they don't have film crews shooting for movies right now. Think about how epic these shots would be for a end of the world movie. Look at this. All the trains. This is massive, people. Think about how much money is being paused right now. Absolutely nuts. If you guys would like to help us support our channel and broadcasts like this and off this, again, we do a lot of our broadcasts essentially for just our people that, we don't do it with advertising. We don't do it, because we can't put it on the tube. If you guys would like to protect yourself, the companies that we deal with are ones that will actually protect you, help you, or actually, in some cases, save your life. The EMP Shield, what it does is it grounds the signal before an EMP, an electromagnetic pulse, can actually knock out your devices, or a CME. The thing is EMP Shield is working with the DEMSO team. They're officially part of the DEMSO team to protect the Texas grid. They've worked with Homeland Security. They've also worked with the DoD. So this is not only a backed up product. Nobody can talk crap about this product. And if they can, but they can't say pretty much anything about it and its background, because this is literally what they are protecting themselves with. We need to protect ourselves like that. No joke. EMP and CME are both things that we should be worried about. The EMP resilience report that came out last year, the reason why Trump actually signed that bill to basically overhaul our entire grid is because of threats to it. In that EMP resilience report, they named EMP Shield by name. Again, it's 100% American made. It is veteran owned. You can go to marfooglenews.com/EMP. You can get one for your car, get one for your generator, get one for your home. Again, you get multiple discounts if you get multiple of the devices. All right, and then let's see here. Ripples in the sky over Syria prompt conspiracy theorists to claim weather control weapon was in use. Online commenters latched onto the footage of smoke ripples in the sky said to be filmed in the Aleppo countryside of Syria to reinforce claims that weather control weapons exist. Although its authenticity cannot be confirmed, the clip prompted conspiracy theorists' imagination to fly. So, let's see here. I was trying to find, let's see here. I need to load the actual one to get the pictures. Check this out. Many people have talked about HAARP, including ourselves. But again, it's beyond HAARP now. Let's see here. Trying to find where the... Okay. So, Dex, can you you are the one who added this one in, so I'm not seeing it. I would love to see what you guys are talking about. Looks like he's on the phone with somebody.
Hang on one second, Adam. I'll find it.
I don't see the ripples, and even on the official one, I don't see it. Let's do this one though. Oh my gosh! What in the world?
Allahu Akbar! Allahu Akbar!
What?
Allahu Akbar!
Yeah, that tweet. That's the one.
Shoof.
What? What? What?
MashaAllah.
That right there is nuts! Do you guys see that?
Leko, Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar.
I don't know what he's saying. Maybe it's, oh my God, maybe? Look at that. It's like water in the sky.
MashaAllah.
You can see the waves. That is absolutely nuts. Electromagnetic interference in the southern countryside of Aleppo, whose source has not yet been determined. Okay, I get it. I was like, sometimes if we get things like that, you know, it's cool to actually like react to it in real time. Like, that's nuts. I would love to see more video if you catch stuff like that. And again, I think that everybody should keep their eyes looking up at all times. That's how some of the most amazing videos come out. Make sure to send it to us. You have contact ways to get a hold of us on our website, www.marfooglenews.com. It's the Silent War on Q continues. Now, this is by Tyler Durden. It says, we're living in dramatic times that are difficult to understand. One way to try to interpret them is through cryptic clues provided by Q, which appear on an anonymous online forum and imply top secret knowledge of upcoming events. Now, I know from some of my friends that are, you know, they call them Q-tubers or Q. I know some of the people that, you know, wrote the book, The Great Awakening. So these folks are getting heavily bashed. Unfortunately, it's kind of accepted by MSM that this is, you know, something that they need to control. So again, I've seen a lot of my friends kind of their channels dip and just completely go out, which is unfortunate. I mean, these people have big followings, and they're getting hit because they're talking about this, which some would say that, you know, none of this is really bad information. Or you know, some would say what harm does it truly do? You know, what are your guys' opinions on it? It says Q followers believe that Q is military intelligence operation, the first of its kind, whose goal is to provide the public with secret information. Q is a new weapon in the game of information warfare, bypassing a hostile media and corrupt government to communicate directly with the public. It's interesting to note that shortly after my article was published here, American thinkers suffered a series of unprecedented hacking attempts. Also noteworthy that Twitter permanently shut down the account of Zero Hedge, a popular finance blog, 2 weeks after it posted my article. This is the kind of stuff, it says, President T-Man continues to bring attention to Q, repeatedly retweeting Q followers, featuring Q fans in his ad campaign, and making a public display of a Q baby at a rally. Yet the media never asked Trump what the obvious question: what do you think about Q? That is kind of funny that they don't actually ask, right? Isn't that weird to you, Dex?
Oh, hey, Adam. Absolutely. I've often wondered why hasn't anybody, of all the stupid questions they waste on president, why didn't they ask something like that? If nothing else, it would have been entertaining, to say the least, let alone potentially super insightful.
Sorry about that. I've got some sort of smoke alarm or something going off, but it's outside of us. No, I think it's actually really weird that even just independent, because they have independent writers and authors. I think maybe those people that are the one independent source they go to every time they do a conference, I think they're afraid to screw up their own kind of question asking at the White House or some of these events, because if they ask that, they might not be able to ever ask a question again. Who knows? Maybe that's what they think. But you would think one of the independent news companies that does get to ask a question, say at one of the conferences, would ask. There have been asks, but that's the thing. I don't think they're counting. There was a couple times where they asked him about it, and he doesn't answer and he moves on. I don't know if you guys knew that, but they did ask a couple times. It says, instead, the media keeps ratcheting up its attacks on Q and the ever-growing worldwide movement that Q inspires. On February 9th, both the AP and the New York Times published the blistering anti-Q articles, claiming that Q promotes baseless, debunked far-right conspiracies and accusing Q of inciting violence in deranged followers. What do you guys think? I would love to hear it. Attacks have been coming in all day, very sophisticated and expensive attacks. The person paying for this likely has deep pockets. So, and again, I know a lot of these guys, Red Pill and Dustin Nemos and all of these guys kind of are in the same boat right now. They're all getting kind of hit by different things, which is pretty weird. X-22 was also bombarded. 8kun was attacked. I mean, it's pretty crazy. Highly sophisticated state-level attacks, followed by fake news attacks versus Q the next day. Coordinated, ask yourself a simple question: why? It's time to wake up. And then, of course, if you are missing our notifications, hopefully, we won't get anything, right? So, again, we have a system that is actually set up. Website notifications are now available, works with most all browsers and Android. iOS is coming soon. So if you have an Apple, it might not work, but again, you can use Chrome, download it onto it or a different one, and it will. Look for the prompt and click the bell at the bottom right-hand corner. Again, it will ask you if you want to subscribe to notifications, or it will be a white box that says, would you like to allow Marfoogle News to notify you? So the only time it notifies you is if we send out a notification for a live show or for a premiere or something like that. And it's only going to be a bar that pops up at the top of your phone. It will say, Marfoogle News is live, or Marfoogle News posted an article. And then you'll be able to see it, and you won't be late. Again, a lot of people say that they show up 3-4 hours, 2 days later, and that's kind of whack. Here is the Rocket Man. This is absolutely stunning. Now, check this out. So, you've probably seen this jetpack before, but now they have the ability to take off vertically. So before they had to drop them out of a plane, or they had to tow them behind something, or they had to jump out of something. Now it's absolutely nuts. I mean, this is the future. This is in Dubai on one of their launch pad things, and this is nuts. Truly is. Look at that. So, again, this is in Dubai. He's floating around, but then just check this out. This is so nuts. Okay, so now he's taking off. Boom, 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 boom. Boom! This is a human dream. How many of us have dreamed that we could fly, that we could literally just soar up to the sky and take off above a city. That is nuts. Now, the first thing I thought when I saw this was like, oh, why is he using a parachute? So they can't land yet without using a parachute, but they can take off. So this is a step up from what it was. So basically, he can fly around. He can just take off vertically, go do his thing, and then parachute down. I was trying to think, like, why can't, because he can land. He can fly around like this. So I bet you they're going to come up with a system so you could fly around like this, right? And they do show him actually re-landing on the longer version of this. But again, on this one, he can actually hover, but he can't get back in that position once he goes full jet mode. So they've been showing this for a few years that they've been working on this and different prototypes. In fact, Guinness Book of Records showed this gentleman, and he was like the first man to fly like a jet or whatever. But now they're coming up with even better systems. So flying around like a jet. Now get this. This isn't the end, right? So, and we've linked both the longer videos that actually show more of it. It says the drone, let's see here. Incredible manned drone can perform rolls and loops at 87 miles per hour. It says an incredible manned drone described like being in a Formula One car in the sky can perform rolls and loops at 87 miles per hour, even where there is a human on board. The big, quote, drone had its maiden flight in Croatia with the CEO of the Drone Champions League, Herbert Reirather. It says in the hot seat while a remote pilot made it loop and roll. So imagine getting into one of these things and letting it up to somebody else to control your life. That's kind of scary, but these things have come about. Those are carbon fiber blades, I believe. You can actually see them on other videos, and we actually have another clip on this. Check that out, though. I think there's 8 blades. It might be 6. Yeah, it looks like there's 6 blades. This thing is absolutely nuts. Now, in the future, they're going to have these set up with multiples, and they're all going to have independent blades. So even if 2 of them fail, even if a whole side fails, apparently they're going to have systems that will be able to fly sideways or turn, all sorts of things. They talked about how this is actually going to replace cars eventually. Now, people right now might be saying, oh, that's BS, but they're already planning for highways in the sky. Because obviously, if we clear up the ground, they have more space for the mega cities that they are planning right now. So these things, it's crazy. Literally flying a jet, a little manned drone. So this is like a DJI Mavic with a human on board. Now, we do have a tweet of this flying. This is the guy inside, right? He's not controlling his own life. Somebody is sitting there. Look at this. Now, check this out. The guy is actually controlling him. He's doing the drone. Look at that. I'm sorry. No, thank you. No, thank you. So I want to know what this is. It shows that briefly. Like, what kind of freaking course is that? I know that there's some pretty cool drone stuff going on, but look at this. This looks like a video game. This is real life. I guess that actually might have been a video game. I don't know. But this is real life, and this is the future. This is what they are getting clearances from. This is what they're talking to the FAA about right now, about clearing a lower thing for this, and they're going to be electric, so they're not going to affect. Look at that carbon fiber. That's absolutely craziness. Look at that. That is just nuts. Would you trust one of these? Would you like to fly in one? Would you let somebody else control you up in the air doing flips at 90 miles an hour? I don't know. I don't know if I would. I would definitely. I'd probably be nervous. I don't get why though. So I guess if you are controlling yourself, then it's not a manned drone. It's just a flying device, I guess. But again, if you have ever flown a drone, it's pretty nuts. I mean, these things are sturdy. So I guess there is that. So if you guys
well, Adam, you've got that skill set out there, right? The people that can then do the FPV and they can fly these drones like nothing you've ever seen before, right? They go under tables, through cracks, up the sides of buildings, around trees.
Yeah, but they
limbs, right?
they also hit those trees and they also hit those things to get there.
Yeah, but the really good ones don't, right?
Yeah.
And so here's the thought: like you've got a soldier, you need to get him into a certain spot, but you've got a really incredible drone flyer. So you put the guy in the drone and the other guys with a joystick, and he's flying them, zigzagging through everything, getting them to the spot and getting them out in a hurry. Right?
That's actually one thing to think about is if in the military aspect of that, if there was a man that they could get in somewhere, right? If they could actually put a man, so say they need to get somebody on the inside somewhere.
Or get them out.
That's true. That I didn't think about that. They could fly one of those in, the guy hops in, and then it jets out of there. And think about how hard that would be able to hit. If that thing was doing rolls and all sorts of things, just think about the old dog fights they used to have and the things. What's crazy is like the Battle of Midway, right? These dive bombers would go down, and it's like they had bullets flying them all over the place. But how the good pilots actually survived is how they, flew back and forth and they dodged stuff. Think about one of these things armed with guns too. And autonomous guns that would hit targets based on an algorithm. They already have that, right? So you send in one of those to pick up somebody, it shoots everybody down except for the facial recognized target that they're trying to get. That's insane. Again, if you guys want to help support the channel, earthing is something that I do. It's something that a lot of the Foogle family does. In fact, this has been around for a very, very long time. It's called grounding. You essentially can do it by going outside and standing on the ground, but these are products that can actually help you do it inside, especially when you sleep. A lot of the times, not everybody can be a hippie all day and go stand outside barefoot. If you do, that's great. But again, when you're sleeping, you can just lay down on one of their mats, or if you're sitting at a desk 8 hours a day, they actually have desk mats. This plugs into the wall and it goes into the ground, so it literally grounds you. You will physically change it. Actually decreases inflammation, pain, and stress. There's 25 studies that back this up. Again, it increases your attention span and it improves sleep, digestion, and more. So if you have any kind of inflammation, anything inflammation related in your body, this is to help. Marfooglenews.com/earthing. Again, you can actually, we had exclusive access to the entire movie that came out on the red carpet. We had Muriel Hemingway on. Of course, Amy Smart was in that, Deepak Chopra, and then Clint Ober. All of the folks that came on to our show, they gave us exclusive access before anybody else at marfooglenews.com/GT. That's how you can see the documentary by Josh and Rebecca. Again, that was a huge deal, so it was a real awesome thing. That actually explains it, and it goes all into the details of why it works, why they don't want you knowing about it. So make sure to check it out. Again, if you missed any of the articles here, again, we're going to be doing our COVID coverage right after the calls. We're going to be taking an intermission after this show and then going into the next. Now we're going to be opening up the phones. That is 224400 Marf. First, I'm going to just say thank you to a few people here. I'm actually going to be saying thank you again because these people were absolutely awesome. Let's see here. All right, now let's see here. Boom, boom. All right, and then we've got Star coming up. She's going to be the first-time caller, first caller up, too. Top contributors last show. Thank you, Colleen Luce Wilson. We've got Bo Nilsson, Rev1611. Thank you again. Oh Wise Al, John Raxness, Ilea, Susan Donahue. Thank you every single time for all of your support. Again, Susan, thank you, thank you, thank you. Patricia, Comedy and Life, shouting you out. Thank you. American Joe, we hosted yesterday, by the way. Just want to make a shout out to him. He is putting together, he's got a lot of the political YouTubers. We are together pooling our resources to get people to form a huge alliance. And I've already got about 45 creators larger than 20,000 involved. So, I mean, it's a pretty big deal. Some are as large as 550,000. So we've got a lot of stuff going on. Make sure to join our creators group. Again, we are getting people to come over to DLive. We're going to do special events. Again, that's going to be awesome as well. So the thing is we can actually do a whole lot with the freedoms here. So we're going to do a dual thing, and I promise you guys, I'm going to show you how we can use this to our advantage. Okay, especially Foogle fam. I need to host people after the show. Foogle fam, get over here so I can do that. Okay, all right, let's get this started. Dex, if you want to push through star with 2 R's, let's do it. Emergency Services Ham Radio Operator, Yellowstone Aperture Radio Emergency Services, and CDC Emergency Convention Update. All right, let's hear about it. All right, there we go. Star, you are live on Marfoogle TV. What is going on?
Awesome. Thank you for taking my call. You have a great team. I appreciate your work. And I've been watching since you interviewed the FEMA gentleman.
Oh, that was, FEMA Region 10. Yeah, that's now over a year, I think. So that's awesome. So,
yeah.
Star, you are a ham radio operator, is that correct?
That's right, KF7 BHV. I've been licensed for many years now, and I was heavily involved in emergency services in Billings, Montana, and I was part of the YARI, which is the Yellowstone Amateur Radio Emergency Services Club, and we did a lot of work together. It was a lot of fun, and I was also a volunteer for the emergency, the EOC, if you will, in Billings. But anyway, I volunteered to be a part of, I volunteered my services to be part of the Emergency Management Conference, which was geared toward government officials. And I was basically a monitor in the back of the room for the speaker. And the speaker was from the CDC. Sorry, I'm a little bit nervous.
That's all right. Just you're talking to me. No worries.
I know. It's so silly, but, Anyway, so I was in the back of the room, and I was basically there to, get her a glass of water or lower the lights for the PowerPoint or whatever. And anyway, so I was there for a good 6 hours or whatever, and I listened to her talk. She was from the CDC, and she kept talking about pandemics, and she had, PowerPoint presentation and so on and so forth. And she kept saying when, and probably my unawareness, it took me 3 hours to kind of recognize. She kept saying when, not if. So at the end of this, when it was all done, when everybody was leaving, it was last, she did 3 sessions, an hour and a half each or whatever it was. And I finally, at the end, I went up to her and I said to her, you kept saying when, not if. And she looked down at me because she was taller than me. I'm not that tall. And she looked me in the eye and she said, this is off the record. And she said, it's a matter of when, not if. It will happen. Basically, a pandemic will happen is what she said to me. And I never forgot that. And it always bothered me. And I always thought to myself, God, why was I placed there? Why did I volunteer? And I just feel like I just want people to know that, I don't know, maybe they know something we don't. But this was probably in like 2000 I want to say 2012, because I moved to Arizona in 2015. So I just wanted to pass that on.
No,
this is somebody from, yes.
And I'm sorry, can you repeat the year that happened again one more time?
I want to say it was around 2012, because I moved to Arizona in 2015.
Now, do you remember the call, like probably 3-4 days ago, of that lady saying that in 2006, this lady this very well put together lady said in 2006 to her on the subway, said that there would be this kind of thing happening, later on. Do you remember that call?
Yes.
Isn't that creepy?
Yes, I do remember. Yeah, it was creepy. I feel like sometimes, we disregard people who act like, who in their right mind would stand up and do something like that. You know what I'm saying? It's, I don't know, we need to wake up and pay attention, because I've been ridiculed a lot in my life, and it's very hurtful because people don't want to pay, even my own family, it's very hurtful. But you know what I say? To me, I'd rather send an email out or send something out, one of your videos, that they may look down on. But in the end, I have a clear conscience with God, because I have done something that I believe I know is in truth. And rather than say, oh, they're going to judge me or whatever, you know what? In the end, I have done something to help them. That was my pure intention. You see what I'm saying? Yeah.
So there was nothing else that you were in there for. I know, I completely get you. Star, we need to, are you in our ham radio operating group?
When I moved out here, I actually looked into being involved because I love it. I love being boots on the ground, but the closest club is an hour away, so I'm not involved right now. But I am a prepper.
Well, that's okay. I mean, I would assume that you guys could just get on the radio and talk to each other at least. But, well, no, I appreciate your call, and that's it's extremely creepy. But again, I think that there was a lot of kind of outliers that said that something like this was going to happen, and now the big debate is this really a what they say it is, or are we there yet to the pandemic level? That's a big thing. So thank you, Star, for calling. I appreciate you, and I'd love for you to call again. It's your first time call. I hope it's not your last.
Well, thank you. I appreciate all you do.
Well, God bless. Thank you. All right. God bless you as well. Bye-bye. That was first-time caller Star out of Arizona. We had a lot of buffering. I don't know if we're still on, but hopefully either way we're recorded, so it's going to be on YouTube just fine. Hello, you are live on Marfoogle TV. Jason, you are on Marfoogle TV.
There you go, Mark.
How are you doing, Jason? Looks like you have a video called Berserker Observations. Is that correct?
Yeah, look inside the rainbow.
Look inside the rainbow.
There's
okay.
Some,
let me get this
right.
going. I will pull this up. And do I have your full permission to play this on air?
Yes.
Okay, let me close some of this stuff up here. Make sure I'm doing everything we can so we don't buffer here. And then let's see here. All right, I'm playing the audio of your video. I'm gonna mute you real quick. Just full screen that. What in the heck is that? What is that noise? Oh my. Now, Jason, I'm going to pull you in another 30 seconds. It sounds like you have the mysterious hum. I don't know if that's what it is, but I'm going to pull you in just a second. All right, now, Jason, I'm pulling you back in. Is this the mysterious hum that you're catching? I noticed there is the halo around the sun. What I guess are we looking at?
All right, so the original, the first 15 seconds of the video is the original footage. And if you look at the top of the sun, you'll see a pink beam that's moving and a pulse going through it. So after the first 15 seconds, I've zoomed in at the top of the sun, and you'll see a pulse go through a pink beam. Can you see that white light? It's like a white light that goes through a pink beam after the first 15 seconds.
Wait a second. Whoa. Okay, hold on.
Can you see that?
I'm trying to here. Hold on. Let's see. Now, would 15 be a good exact place to see it? Started at 10 or?
Yeah, started at 10, and then within like 10, 15 seconds, you'll see that pink beam and a white light travel through it.
Oh my gosh, okay, wow, that's just like the other video.
Yes. And then further on in the video,
What
I've
in the
actually
world
zoomed
is
in
it?
a lot further. Yeah, it's quite bizarre, isn't it?
It's the ripples. Now, I don't know how this translates at home, but I'm seeing a light white ripple that's going through the light. And it's literally like if you dropped a penny in water. Look at that.
Yeah. And then if you go a little bit further along, I've slowed that video down and zoomed in even further. And towards the end, you'll see a heap of orbs try and go through that light.
Oh, wow. Look there it is. Oh my gosh. What in the world? Hold on.
Yeah, so when that video slowed, there's quite a few orbs, or whatever you want to call them.
I definitely saw the orbs. That right there. I don't know if you guys see that. That was pulsating through it. And you can totally, in that 1 second, it's just, you guys got to watch carefully one more time. Right there. Look at it. It's a ripple in time and space.
That is.
Wow, Jason, this is incredible.
Yeah, sometimes you got to watch it a few times, and then at the end of like the film part, I've broken it down in the photos, so you can actually see the white light go through the pink beam just in photos, and I've also taken separate pictures of the orb that moves towards that ripple.
Wow, look inside the rainbow. So, and then again, this is February 14th on Valentine's Day. We are going to link your channel, Berserker Survival. That's a great video, Berserker. That's awesome.
And that's part 2. There is a part 1 on how they made that happen.
So
Planes.
we will link it, and then you should probably to this video. You should actually make a playlist and make the part 2. Actually make that into a playlist. Then if they go to this one, it will automatically go into the next one, which is part 2. Just something too, as a YouTuber, okay. If you make playlists, it automatically instead of going to somebody else that they recommend, it makes it go into your next videos. Always do playlists. Berserker, it looks like you are actually calling from out of country too. So you are again in Australia, or is that correct?
Yeah, that's right, Australia. Yep.
That is awesome. Well, thank you from down under calling all the way over here. Yeah. So thank you. Is there anything else that you wanted to throw in before you go?
No, just check out part 1. That's quite interesting. Once again, you got the planes flying around. So it's quite interesting how they make these things happen.
Okay, well, I'll leave that. If I do it on the show, then they have no reason to go check you out. So I'll leave that for there.
Yeah, no.
If you want to see part 1, go to Berserker Survival. I appreciate you calling in, and please call in as well. Again, please.
Oh, there's plenty more weird stuff out there. All right.
All right, you have a good day.
Thanks very much, Marv.
Thank you, Jason.
Thank you.
That was Jason from Berserker Survival. We have a lot of survival and prepper channels in our network. We have, hundreds and hundreds of creators in our creators group. Make sure to join that as well. You'll meet people like Jason. Oops, skipped that one. We're going to get Jan on next. Jan is next, and she's got an interesting topic here. Jan, you are live on Marfoogle TV. What is going on?
Hello. You asked a question. Do we believe we are in the last days? And the answer is yes. Now I want to tell you why I have the yes answer other than God. You go to the Bible. Have you seen the Days of Noah from Prime? It's a 4-part series from the Layman Ministries.
No, I have not.
Have you seen that?
I do not believe I've seen it.
Okay,
no.
If anyone wants to watch that, that will catch them up to why I'm starting at the year 1844, when the first angel warning was given to us. You go for 120 years, and there are years in here that are very significant. You start 1844, you add 120 years, you get 1964, and the creation of the World Bank, the monetary system. That has to fall. That's also the time that Noah, or the age that most people think Noah was when he completed the ark. Noah was in the ark for 2 days, praying to God, sealed in the ark by God, for the rain and wondering whether the rain was going to start. A day is a year. 2 days brings us to 1966, 2 years. And a Time magazine cover, the most famous cover Time may have ever had, said, "Is God dead?" You go for 7 more years, which is from the time Jesus arrived in Jerusalem until he was resurrected. And you get Roe v. Wade, abortion, and Roe v. Wade. Jesus was on earth for 40 days. Before he made his final ascension. That takes us to 2013, and Pope Francis being elected, a Judas priest. And it was Judas that turned Jesus in, the false prophet. 6-7 years, which is our tribulation. And everybody knows what's been going on for the last 7 years. And you have the end. In 2019, there are two churches that are probably the most famous, probably 3 if you count New York, is Notre Dame Cathedral and the Vatican. And what happened to Notre Dame Cathedral last year?
Burnt down.
Destroyed. And we come to now. we are in the last days. Period. God has spoken. God has said. You have to look at the warning signs. And you look at everything that has happened from 1844 onward. You have the false peace with World War I in 1919. You have the first meeting of the General Assembly of the UN in January of 1946. 1949, and the Israelis are really starting to go back to Israel. And I've gone through the others. You also have from 1919, 1920, you have the Spanish flu that hit.
So now
and that is 100 years ago.
Now, so let me pull up your card here. And now, Jan.
Yes.
What do you think? Now, you're from Iowa here. Now, what do you think? Do you think that this year is the end year, or do you think that this is just kind of the start of the end?
This is it. I believe we will see another major sign at or around Easter. A big sign. We are at the end. This is it. Look at what's going on. Look at what happened today. Russia and Ukraine were shelling each other. India and Pakistan were back at it again. The Egyptians said that they stopped Israel from assassinating 2 Hamas leaders and further escalating that war. Yes. Look at what the Pope is doing. Look at what he is pushing for and almost has.
Well, watch the Pope stuff. That's what gets channels deleted. And that's, something is bad when you can't talk about it.
But he and our religious leaders are working to make a one world religion, and the UN is there too. Let's not forget the UN.
Yes, and we're actually we're gathering stuff. We were actually told not to put out something about the UN because of how serious they're getting. We're going to be doing it through our other means. The UN is creating a social media. It's incredible. I mean, just everything is going on right now.
I believe it. I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Well, thank you for calling in, Jan.
But if you want an answer from God, you take your Bible. You put the cover pages to the side. If your Bible is new, just run it through your fingers a little bit until the pages move. You take it, you ask God the question, you let it fall open. The verse you see first will be the answer to your question.
Well, thank you so much, Jan. You have a blessed night. God bless.
You're welcome.
All right, you have a great night.
God bless you.
Bye-bye. And the one world, this is what they're talking about, like the coexist, all of the different religions. If you guys know what the Mr. Man here, I don't have his picture up anymore. The last one, Francis. If you know what I'm talking about, the stuff that he's basically saying, oh, forget the thousands and thousands of years of one thing. Let's just say the total opposite. So can't talk about it. It's so weird. Like they have people everywhere. It's crazy. Let's see here. Up next, we have Tina. Tina, you are live on Marfoogle TV.
Hey, Marv.
What is going on? And just make sure that you have me turned down in the background if you can. Let's see here. Yeah. Now, it says, Tina, you're a first-time caller, and 5G maps and the CV line up. Pulling up the maps now. What are we talking about?
Okay, so let's first look at Australia. If you look at, compare Australia, the Okola map for the 5G.
Okay, let me pull up the 5G map real quick. So you've got a couple maps, and we're going to compare some stuff.
Pull up the first map.
Okay, so this is the Ookla 5G map. So she's going to blow her mind right here because some stuff is going to line up. Okay, now I've got commercial availability and limited availability and pre-release. Should I have the pre-release click too?
Click all of them, yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Now I want you to zoom in on Australia for just a second. until you can see 2, 9, 21, 2, and 3.
Okay, got it. I don't see 3.
Okay.
Oh, no, I do. Okay.
Okay. Now I want you to click over to the Karachi map.
Okay, now let me pull that up. I've got the link for this as well. Let's see. Let's see. Boom. Okay, I think I'm, let me load a third one here.
Don't worry about the third
Oh,
one
oh,
right
oh,
now.
okay, never mind. No, I got it. Hold on.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
we're looking at
zoom in.
the Corona map, correct?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, let me show you.
And then zoom into Australia.
Yeah, if it will do. I hate this stupid stuff. What? It actually says it may be risky.
What may be risky?
The site.
The map?
Yeah.
Hey, just go to the John Hopkins map if you have it. It's the same one.
It's not risky. It's from John Hopkins.
Yeah, I know. And it's just dumb. They don't want you looking at it. Okay. Let's see here.
Accept the risk.
Oh yeah, I got it. It's pulling up right now, and then it shows. Wow, look at that spike there. It's poorly loading here. Once it does, it's because it's got all that data.
Lots of data.
Wow, this is so slow.
No
Okay,
kidding.
so
now go to Australia. Just click on Australia on the left-hand side.
yep, trying to. Oh, and of course, God, this is not doing what it should be doing here. Hold on. Okay, here we go. It's going to load once it gets
Now
in.
you can move it.
Stops.
What?
If it stops moving. Oh.
Adam, use the map I just put in the screener. It's the same one, but the guy you're using, the coronavirus map, he just wraps it with his own stuff, and just use the real map. It's in the screener. It's the same.
That's
thing.
all right. It finally loaded, so I'm not going to mess with it. I get what you're saying. He's basically copying it, and then putting his ads on it.
Basically, what's going on here is the 5G is actually lining up to where victims are.
Supposedly. We have to say that.
Yeah. And then if you go to China, it's lining up there as well. And then if you go to the United States, it's lining up there as well. The whole map is lining up.
Look at that.
I mean, even in, there's a lag, so. But yeah, so flip over to the other map and show the Fugle fam how it's lining up with the Ukula.
Okay, let's if we're going otherward too. Let's see here. Dex, if you want to put in the John Hopkins one. Let's see here. Okay, now let's go to the United States. If it will let us. This guy really needs to maximize his site. Don't know if you guys know this, but we put a lot of work into our website to have it load fast. Dex is really good at that kind of stuff. Our whole site loads in about 3.5 seconds. This thing is just crawling.
I think maybe they have you blocked.
Who knows?
It's in the screen.
Mine's running pretty fast.
Sorry, Dex. You are
but this is
way loud.
This is all lining up.
Okay.
I mean, from Germany to Italy to the United States, it's all lining up. This has a 5G.
We have to say supposedly, otherwise we won't be on.
Yeah,
we won't be on
supposedly.
Air. So
it looks strange. Let's just say.
Well, if that's true, then we're gonna have the entire country. Why is Canada?
Yeah.
Is Canada not doing it, or am I just not over it? So it's not populating.
It's not populating unless you're over it.
Gotcha. So I wonder, as far as this goes, some could say that it would harm immunity or something like this. But if you look at the United States, let me try to grab it. See, to me, I mean, the cases, and this one's right up by me. It's nuts that the first case was right here, and I went to that hospital, and then we all got sick. So that kind of freaked me out, actually. But of course, I was 100 yards away from the hospital. I didn't go near a single person, other than somebody that went to their car, and we had masks on. I mean, this thing is really creepy. But see, the whole 5G things, I don't. I guess I just don't see how that could directly cause something like this. I guess I could, but on the other hand, this is happening. Well, it's happening in places that don't even have 4G. See what I'm saying?
I think it's. Well, no, it's not. Actually,
Kenya doesn't have 4G, or the parts of Kenya, the parts of. I mean, there's a lot of places that have this that don't have 5G yet. That's the only thing, and I'm not saying it's not. I'm just saying there's 30 countries now, and like 6 of them don't have.
Kenya has 2 5Gs.
Oh, okay. So is there a single place that does not have it yet?
That does not have 5G?
Yeah, that has the other.
No, there's not.
That's weird. Not.
And they're rolling, and it seems like they're rolling these things out in like they're testing it. Like they're doing a test site. They're kind of figuring out what's happening. That's what it seems like to me. But it could be, 2. It could be 2 things on top of another. It could be like a viral and the 5G.
Or they were, we'll talk about it on the next show. We're going to be doing a whole show on it. What if they were designed together?
Exactly.
I get what you're saying.
And then also, I want you to check out that link for Dr. Lieber. The top link. Now, this is the Harvard professor, physicist, chemist that was arrested on January 28th.
Says, so this man was arrested, you say?
Yes, this man was arrested right before the thing started hitting China. He was arrested with 2 other Chinese biologist.
And he's from Harvard University.
Yes, sir. Now, I want you to take a look. Are you on his webpage? Because
Yes.
there's a lag here. Okay. So are you on the purple page?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, I want you to go scroll all the way down. Check out who his sponsors are.
DARPA, Office of Naval Research, Air Force Office of Scientific Research.
Yeah, exactly.
National
Now, I want you to
Institutes
go
of
up.
Health and Mitri.
Now, hold on. Don't start freaking out yet, because I'm fixing to freak you out. Now I want you to look at the the last sentence of the first paragraph.
Okay, let's see. I thought you were going to ask me to do the other one. Lieber has published over 400 papers in peer-reviewed journals and is the principal inventor on more than 50 patents. In his spare time, Lieber has been active in commercializing nanotechnology and founded the nanotechnology company Nanosys Incorporated in 2001 and the new nanosensor company Vista Therapeutics in 2007.
Now I want you to read the last sentence of the first paragraph. First paragraph.
It says, well, that's a huge one. It's half of it. Lieber has been a pioneer in nanoscience and nanotechnology, where he was originated new paradigms that have defined the rational growth, characterization, and original applications of functional nanometer diameter wires and heterostructures. Lieber has provided seminal concepts central to bottom-up paradigm of nanoscience and has been a leader in defining directions and demonstrating applications of nanomaterials in areas ranging from electronics, computing, photonics, and as well as pioneering the interface between electronics with biology and medicine, including his current focus in brain science. Wow.
Yeah. Now go to his Wikipedia.
Okay, got it loaded up, I think. Let's see. Boom. Okay, now what am I looking at?
Now I want you to go all the way down to his research and contributions.
Okay, nanomaterial synthesis and nanostructure characterization. And I'm guessing you want me to go to and biology and medicine?
Yeah, but now I want you to go all the way down to awards. Now, this is the doctor that was actually arrested, and he works for DARPA. He's funded by DARPA, NIH. He's awarded the Wolf Prize in Chemistry. If you don't know what that is, please look it up. It'll tell you exactly who he is and who owns him. And then I want you to go all the way down to references. All of these references are published material by him. Okay? If you look at 26 nanowire transistors, he's making the Neurolace for Elon Musk.
What?
The nanowires. Yes. He's making the nanowires. The injectable, it's an injectable bio nanowire that actually travels up to the brain with a nanobot. Seriously, I thought I was like, this was like way too deep for me. I'm looking at this, and it's an injectable Neurolace that they inject into your body, your arm. They don't need like a huge machine to actually implant something into your brain to take it over. It is a Neurolace technology. It actually adheres to a neuron of your brain and it synthesizes with your computer. Welcome to AI.
And he just got arrested for making a materially fictitious and fraudulent statement about his links to a Chinese university. One thing I see is this guy's Harvard, has so many awards. Why would he make a false statement? This guy's like,
look, this dude is either being shut up, or he's either being shut up, he's being watched, or he's under surveillance so that no one,
I'm gonna let you guys.
I'm
gonna let you guys do your own thing on this. I have 3 kids, and I'm gonna vote for Hillary's ghost. I like everybody. I love living. Thank you so much, Tina.
Serious?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
By the way, I don't own any ties, ropes, anything, and I'm taking all my doorknobs off right now.
Isn't that scary, though? I mean, seriously.
Yes, it is. If you guys don't get what she's saying, go look at the links we're going to put. Just do it yourself. I think it means nothing. Absolutely nothing.
All right, then.
Have a good night. Thanks for the sentence.
Good night, Mark.
Death sentence.
Good night.
Good night.
Circle fam. Love you.
Bye. Toodles.
Bye.
Just looking for objects that can be used as nooses. Alrighty then. I love life. Always have. Always will. Dex.
Hey, Adam.
That's huge.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
All right. So we did not archive those web pages for historical purposes. If somebody else wants to, they should. I expect to see that information change over time.
And did you see how it says it has issues with it? It's already been updated in the last couple weeks because it shows the January 28th.
I bet.
Huh?
I bet it's been updated.
Yeah.
I wonder if any of the revisions that have been made have been removed.
That's nuts. Dex. So we dipped into it here. This is just dipping our toe into the pool. Literally. We have so much more. Absolutely so much more. If you are on YouTube, obviously, you might want to go to our website, marfooglenews.com, and by the time this airs, most likely this will be a live show that's being taped as you are watching this, and it will be available through Alert. Those alerts are available at marfooglenews.com. Dex, we're going to take a short intermission.
Great show, brother.
I'm going to do a short shoutro. And then we are going to get back to it. I'm going to say thank you to all of the folks right now. Geez Louise, Miss Sweezy. Let's get up in the D-Live chat. By the way, just wanted to very much so clear up. The Marfia badges, the people, there was some sort of issue with the Marfia badge. I nor any other creator cannot take that away from you, period. It's not possible. It expires after 1 month if you've only subscribed for a month, but I don't have the ability to take your badge away, period. That's from the site. When you do that, you are subscribing to me and you are helping our channel by doing that. You can do 1 month, 6 months, 12 months, however many months in advance, and it just takes away lemons, about 300 per lemon, and then if you do more than that, they give you kind of like a Costco deal on it. So thank you guys. If you want to be a part of the purple Mafia badge, which, geez, look at all those purple. It's just weird they're all in a row like that. Thank you guys. Appreciate your support. As far as whatever happened with the badge drama, yeah, that's... Come on. Really? Anyways, thank you to my mods. All of them have been with me for more than a year. April Osborne, all those folks. Most all of them have been with me. And I just want to thank all of you guys for being here. We are coming back. We're doing 2 shows today. So if you guys do support, thank you very much. Especially since it's gonna be pretty crazy. Gonna go over the top contributors, everything else. Thank you very much. Oh no, Boombastic.
Oh gosh. Oh gosh. Oh gosh.
Hey, what's going on? Truth, FPV, Shane XCS, Seattle Starla, and Early Bird, thank you for hanging out with me. Mary Sharp Mike 1968 and Antita 9 with the 2 and the 8. Linda Kite and Softnose with the Heart and the Paw Patrol. Colleen Luce Wilson, Bo Nilsson. You guys should be the Nilsson Wilson Bilsons. Rev 1611, Oh Wise Owl, and John Rackness, thanks for having a scowl. And Ilea. Let's all kick it with Susan Donahue, Patricia Comedy and Life, shouting you out. Thank you so much. Love you. And the rest of my YouTube family. Yes, I said family. Like Pamela. Pamela Janela. I'm about to bring it all the way down. You've got to bring it like, oh no. We've got the way that you got to see that way you do. To the D-Life chat, I love all of you and you know that. Jason 78, Stormy 75, 72, Yabba Dabba Sexy. Yabba Dabba Sexy. Karma is here, Crystal Virgo, Shane XCS, and Caroline on the Bay. PHX Breeze, thanks for saying what's up in other chats. And what do I say? Patricia Heidel, Lauren Invit, and Kitty Cat, or Katrina, Heather Daniel, and Pole Shift, and Earthworm Jim, thanks for being here every single night. Death will know my name, I think that's how you say it, but nah, not the same. Bad Billy Buck, I don't give a little wrong way. Hi. Pat Leading Fox and Chewy Weather, thank you for coming. Casper Sparks, thank you for the Ninja Guineas, whoever that was. Let's see, Kitty Rose, keeping it real, Marv. We've got J-Dog 308, thank you for that massive Ninja Guinea. Brian 77, Ari Ungi, and Duck Green, Basic Blonde. BMF and a Polaron, stuffed YT and a blue daisy with the blondes. Hey Bella, blue sky and the rebel yell acceleration and bring it down. The dawn is right over the hill with the Kevin Fugel fam. You know, Trump Daddy Rocks and the rest of the Prada, Pittsburgh Fugler and the rest nada. I'm gonna bring you Susan Valhalla. What's up? Bringing it right back. We've got that Twitch one hollering right back. Lucky Ticky 2. Deuce B, Tiffany R. Hey, all of you kicking it out there. I Baby Yoda Karma is here. Seattle Starla and Barry Fowler. Thank you for being awesome people. Let's get it, Pocket 1964. Hey, Jahan Janitarnage R. I'm gonna open the J Dog 308 door. Oh yeah. Freebird, thank you so much for hanging out. Lenginarella, Jumpmaster, Pirates, some for me, K. Kathy, and the rest of the crew. Casper Sparks, Lady Lexi, Shane 87, and Great Cascaby. If you've got the love that Angie Diaz and the rest of my packs home, mine is gonna go with Grego too. La 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 la. It looks like Moonface5 says he likes my deep voice. I've got something for you.
Oh yeah. Paw Patrol. Lucky Diggy 2 in the Karen for Columbus. Gonna bring it round down when a bombus. Like a Dumbledore. Got my apron, Osborne. Who I adore like Z and Mackie. I'm about to go back and they call me a Lecky. Oh! Bring it like a mafia alley cat. Gonna bring a free bird like a nut. Ding-a-ding-a-dong, ding-a-ding-a-dong. Oh, that chest was already done. Boom, 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 with the Jesse Lund. 854-year-old says had him off. Kissing my phone with the laughing gift. Gonna bring it down like you know we get. T-Town Russian girl with that. Oh, and it's on the 8. Boom, like Marathon. Gonna bring it back now. Oh, do it all the time. Fix her up, fix her up. Got that Casey Cora aura. Bring it with the S-Penny. 340 with the Bam and B. Gonna hit that BM marker, archer like the Mr. Bob Barker. That price is right. Gonna hit the activator like the light. And the mofo with the Jim Jim. Got the NDDS and the Rem Rem. Better slide into his DMs. Just kidding there. Got the meat puppet 00007. Woo woo. O-H-I-O. O-H-I-O. Oh yeah, gotta say yo. Gotta breathe for the truth. Got the old and knock ya. Bring it down now. Now you gotta got ya. Thank you. Don't hear I got ya.
With the Rick Missouri, the Jay-Z, New Max, and the Lucky Ticket 2 with the malicious, I'm gon' bring that a barefoot last home and say hello to Mom and the Vicky 656 tonight. Gonna bring that Fabo Jr. and I bring that Papa Senior. Thank you, back to good Gamer Fro. Thank you. Gamer Fro, I think you're a bit confused. Don't judge people on who they associate with. That is very childish. And there's a bunch of children here, all jack, jelly gel, and jelly gel. We've got the Crystal King and New Dimension, and Karma is here. Hey, Johnny Doom, Annie Michigan, and don't mind Gamer Faro. He really doesn't know who his real friends are. Remember, we love mobbed him, and we're gonna keep doing that no matter what he says. Patty, 1970, Adna and Buffering, Spud Ruckus, and the rest is sing. Barry, Valor, 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 Valor. Hi. My name is Putin Boots 907. I've come for the sandwiches and the pinhole burritos. I like the pinhole burritos. Yes. I usually stand by the buffet. Well, I like the ones especially with no sneeze guard, because they always get in my way when I put my face in the tray. Got the Thumper 7 and the Crystal King. Got the Corvius and that King. Bones Fan, Linda Kite, and that Shane Next 7. Yeah. Oh, hey, hey, so I dream of Ann Lynn Show. I hope you pop over to D-Live. Snafu Snaps, Jason78. I hope you guys start over, because then we can host you. We got to get the Foogle fam over here, and then we'll be in both spots, hitting it up. With the Damon Draco and the Keg Andy. It's like a store with candy. It's easier than a baby. What? I don't think I got the right thing here. Yeah. Christina Faith, Danny Massey, and Jay Winch, thanks for keeping faith. Rick Hambone, thanks for being the man, bro. And I'm telling you, Josh Connor, yeah, yo. Hey, Suze Valhalla, better be hanging with GT476 when I holla. Debbie Jordan, Priscilla, Grego2, Moonface 5, and my big fella, J Dog, 308, and Trump Daddy Rocks with Rick, Missouri. Remember, we're coming right back in just a few minutes. We're going to take an intermission, and then we're going to go straight into the COVID.
You want to know what's going on? What's really going on when it happens? Go to marfooglenews.com and get Marfoogle alerts along with a Discord invitation where you can find your local state group and get together with the Foogle fam. You'll find fast friends where you'll share prep and intel, and there's even special groups for former and current military. But don't try and steal the valor of those who have really served. It won't go well for you. The Marfoogle fam is waiting for you